the top 25 players in fantasy football for 2025. It is way too early. Yes, I know. It is March 27th today. These rankings are going to change, but if the drafts were to happen today, these are how the top 25 picks should go. Pick number 1, I don't think it's too crazy to say. Jamar Chase. He was insane last year. Pull up his stats here. Show player card. Last year, obviously was a wide receiver 1. 403 fantasy points. Led the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. You need to go Jamar Chase number 1. Number 2 might get a little bit controversial here. I know some people are saying it has to be Saquon Barkley. I am actually going to go Bijan Robinson. Bijan, we look how he finished the season with Michael Penix. Pretty good. Look at this. 24, 25, 31 with 6 rushing touchdowns. Michael Penix should make this offense pretty good. I think Bijan has sky-high upside. I am going to have Saquon at player number 3. Again, Saquon was unbelievable last year. Maybe the best running back season of all time. I just don't know it's going to repeat. I think he's going to be great. Still should be a top 3 fantasy pick. I just don't think he's going to repeat as the number 1 running back in fantasy football. Obviously, he was the number 2, but Jahmyr Gibbs played an extra game. Gibbs actually finished as the running back number 1. So again, love Barkley, but will have Bijan ahead of him. Player number 4, just a safe pick. Justin Jefferson. Does he have as high of upside as these other guys? Maybe not, especially if it is J.J. McCarthy. As of right now, J.J. McCarthy looks to be the Vikings starter. Again, this is being recorded in March, so we still got the NFL draft, still got a whole offseason to go, so still tons of time, but as of right now, Justin Jefferson with J.J. McCarthy should be super safe. Again, doesn't have Chase's upside, but super safe option. Player number 5, this is where we're going to have last year's running back number 1. We're going to have Jahmyr Gibbs. Pulling up the player card again, finished as the running back 1 last year, scored the most points, had an extra game than Saquon, and that last game he scored 4 touchdowns. Is there a little bit of concern losing Ben Johnson? Yes, but still, Jahmyr Gibbs, elite fantasy option. He's going to be my player number 5 for next year fantasy drafts. Player number 6, we got CeeDee Lamb. Was pretty disappointing last year. Was not nearly as good as he was the season before, where he was the wide receiver 1 himself, also had 403 fantasy points. Took a step back, but Dak Prescott only played 8 games last year. So Dak should be healthy. Cowboys didn't bring anyone in free agency. Again, the NFL draft is still to come. They still could draft a wide receiver. Like Ted McMillan could go there at 12. Golden could go there. Like they could bring in a weapon. But for now, CeeDee Lamb is still the clear weapon number 1 for Dak Prescott in this Cowboys offense, which should be better. Again, Dak only played 8 games last year. CeeDee will have a bounce back. Player number 7, another controversial one. I'm going Ashton Genty. Again, this is in March. Everything could change in a month. I'm assuming Ashton Genty gets elite draft capital to an elite landing spot if he goes to the Bears. If he goes to the Bears with Ben Johnson, I'm taking him at 7. If he goes to the Raiders, bit of a toss-up, maybe falls a bit down. If he goes to the Patriots, again, we'll have to look more into that. But if he goes to an elite landing spot, say the Broncos trade up, boom. Player number 7, Ashton Genty, will be elite. As we all know, was incredible last season. Player number 8, going with, where is he here? Again, these rankings are from last year, so everything's out of sorts. Player number 8, I'm going Nico Collins. Was elite to start the season. We look here, 17, 27, 12, 33, 16. Got injured, didn't end the season too hot. But again, fully healthy. They lost Tank Dell. He's going to be injured for next year. Lost Stephon Diggs. They did bring in Christian Kirk. I don't think that's going to take too much. Assuming the Texans take, say, a tackle in the first round of the draft, Nico Collins still will be the clear target number 1 for CJ Stroud. Show tons of upside. We'll have tons of upside once again next season. Player number 9. You could argue this guy for 8. I wouldn't hate it at all. I'm going Puka Nacua. Was elite when he played again. Dealt with health issues, but was crazy when he did play. End the season, look, 42, 18, 14, 23. Without Cooper Kupp, has tons of upside. They did bring in Devontae Adams, so you could argue about the same. But again, Matthew Stafford, every single year, supports fantasy wide receivers. I think Puka Nacua will be a beast once again. Next up, a lot of people probably want this guy to go earlier. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I do think losing Ben Johnson does hurt this Lions offense. Will they still be good? I think they will still be great. But Ben Johnson was an elite play caller for the Lions. I think Amon-Ra maybe takes a bit of a hit. Still a first-round fantasy pick. Still super safe. Like the definition of a safe player for fantasy football. Again, I just think these other 9 players I would take ahead of him. Player number 11. Where is he on here? He's going to be a little bit lower. But he was incredible as a rookie. I don't know if you guys saw our TikToks talking last year. We were all over Malik Neighbors saying, draft him, draft him, draft him. Everyone's like, Giants offense sucks. Doesn't matter. Giants offense was awful. Malik Neighbors was still incredible. In 15 games was the wide receiver 6. What is this? Averaging, pull my calculator here, 273 divided by 15. He was still averaging 18 fantasy points a game in this horrible, horrible offense. His target share was incredible. Say the Giants even do take Travis Hunter at 3, play him a bit at wide receiver. Malik Neighbors will still be the clear wide receiver 1 for the Giants. And they got massive quarterback upgrades. No more Daniel Jones, no more Tim Boyle, no more Tommy DeVito, and no more Drew Lock. They got Jameis Winston, got Russell Wilson. They may even get a rookie. Who knows? Either way, quarterback upgrade is going to be massive for this Giants offense. I'm taking Malik Neighbors here in the first round at pick number 11. Pick number 12, this guy, greatest tight end rookie season of all time. Yes, it's tough taking tight ends this early. He looks to be the future Travis Kelce. He broke the rookie receptions record as a tight end. That is absolutely insane. Incredible talent. Again, I think even with new coaching staff, with Pete Carroll, Brock Bowers still going to be an elite option. Then player number 13, another guy that was a rookie last year, Brian Thomas Jr. I want to say he finished as the wide receiver 4 last year. Yeah, wide receiver 4. I know some people like him more than Malik Neighbors, but Neighbors averaged 18 points per game, 284 divided by 17. He averaged 16.7. So Neighbors averaged more points per game in a worse offense with a worse quarterback. So again, I understand the Brian Thomas Jr. hype. I still take Malik Neighbors over him every single time. But again, Brian Thomas Jr. is still an elite option. Early second round pick for me. Next up, this guy had a kind of a roller coaster of a season, but then you look back and he was still elite. Really, really interesting year. Where on earth was he going last year? 25th, Devon Achane. In games without Tua, he is garbage for fantasy. Really, really bad. In games with Tua, absolutely insane. Is this not working here? Can I not pick him? Why is Achane not loading here? There we go. Devon Achane. Pull up last year. I think he was running back 5 on the season. Almost scored 300 fantasy points. Again, we look at the splits without Tua. I think he got injured right around week 3. 8, 6, 2. And then right when Tua came back, 26, 32, 10, 20, 20, 20, 8, 19, 15, 31. Like with Tua in this offense, Devon Achane is an elite fantasy option. The one concern, again, this is recorded before the draft. Amazing running back draft. If the Dolphins take one early, I don't think they will, but if they do, Devon Achane might fall a little bit. But as of right now, in March, Devon Achane is my player number 14 in fantasy football, early second round pick. Next up, super, super risky, but he was player number 1 last year. Was really, really bad. I know in the 4 games he played, was not spectacular. Just the upside of CMC. I am going to go CMC here at player number 15. If he stays healthy, the best player in fantasy football. I think it's worth an early second round pick as a risk. He's getting older, but not super old. He's 28. We saw players like Derrick Henry perform at age 30, and he will be my next player. I know people probably want Derrick Henry a little bit earlier. He is, 31 years old now? Just getting up there in age. He was elite. I know. He was incredible last year. Averaged nearly 20 fantasy points per game, just under. Just at age 31, it does start to become a concern. Still elite option. I am a little bit lower, though. I would still take CMC with the upside, Achane, all these other guys. Next up, I have a clear top 17. So this is my last player in the top 17. And then I think it's the tier break after this. Drake London. Wide receiver 5 finish last year. averaging, what is this? 281 divided by 17. He averaged 16 and a half fantasy points per game. And look how he finished with Michael Penix. 14, 11, so not phenomenal, but then 17.6, 41. 18 targets, 13 targets, was getting fed to end the season. Again, I think Kirk Cousins was dealing with some injuries. It was a weird season, still was phenomenal. Michael Penix should be more of a consistent quarterback for the Falcons next year. I think Drake London has a very, very good season. And again, I do think it's a bit of a teardrop after this. And people were like, why would AJ Brown be a teardrop? He's good. Don't get me wrong. Still young. It's just he wasn't incredible last year. Wasn't incredible. Obviously good, but he has his blow-up games, but also has like 8.3, 5.6, 13, 11 and a half, 11.6. And then you have his blow-ups, 25, 23. He probably had a bigger one even in here. But again, I like AJ Brown, just doesn't offer the consistency. This Eagles offense, run-first offense. So again, still a great player. Just not super, super high on AJ Brown personally. Next up, love some Jonathan Taylor. Again, predicting running backs this far out, a little bit tough as this running back draft class is insane. You don't know what teams are going to take. But Colts, they shouldn't take a running back early. Jonathan Taylor was good last season. In 14 games, put up 244 fantasy points. Jonathan Taylor, every single year, ends the season insane. Look at this. 40 points, 28, 25. To end the season, Jonathan Taylor, still definitely one of the elite fantasy options. Next up, another player that was awful last year, Tyreek Hill. But again, his upside, the years prior, wide receiver 2, 2, 6, 2. You still have to bank on the upside of Tyreek Hill. Was last year bad? Yes, but he still showed upside. Like first game of the year, 26 points. With Tua later in the year, 20 points, 28 points, 14 targets, 115 yards. So he still had good games. 20 points in the fantasy championship. I want to say that might have even been without Tua. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think Tua even played that game. So Tyreek Hill, yes, he wasn't great last year. Still has upside. Still worth a second-round pick in fantasy football. Next up, this could change for sure depending on how the NFL draft goes. But Ladd McConkey was incredible last year. The Chargers have no other clear wide receiver targets. Again, they could take one in the NFL draft. Not too sure. But the way Ladd McConkey ended the season was phenomenal. 20 points, 17, 15, 30, or 29, 17 points. And then in the playoffs, we saw absolutely destroyed the Texans. It doesn't say what he got here, but I think we all remember. It was like, 14 targets, 197 yards, and a touchdown. So that's like, 39 fantasy points in the playoffs. Ladd McConkey, if the Chargers don't invest in another wide receiver in the draft early, should be the clear number one target once again, was elite as a rookie. This draft class, just like quickly looking last year, Neighbors, Bowers, Brian Thomas Jr., Ladd McConkey, elite draft class last year. This one doesn't look as good, but we have high-end talent like Genty. Hampton won't be in the top 25, but Hampton, I think, should be a great player for year one as well. After Ladd McConkey, going with Kyron Williams. Just super safe, when healthy, elite RB1 for the Rams. Player number 23 was somewhat disappointing last year. I could definitely see why some people would be lower on him. I'm still taking Breece Hall. With Justin Fields, is it a concern? Yeah, kind of a bit of a concern. But again, still has a lot of upside. Still worth the risk. Still super young. Only 23 years old. Still like some Breece Hall. Player number 24, last player in the second round for me. Again, we're going to 25. Top 25 players today. Where was this guy going last year? I want to say 40s, 50s. Trey McBride, second tight end. He was, the tight end 2 last year. Was better than Marv. Again, I think Marv's going to take a step up, but Trey McBride was elite. You don't want to take tight ends early unless they provide a positional advantage. Bowers and McBride do. Kelsey does as well. Kelsey's just getting up there in age. Injury's a bit more of a concern for him at this point of his career. Last player of the video, my last player in the top 25. Another one that you could argue, situation got better, got worse. We'll talk about it. Jackson Smith-Njigba was the clear wide receiver 1 last year for the Seahawks. Even over DK, over Lockett. Finished as the wide receiver number 9. Was phenomenal for fantasy. They lost DK, lost Lockett, brought in Cooper Kupp though. Cooper Kupp, older, dealing with injuries. Also, they got rid of their offensive coordinator. Probably going to be a more run-first team, where last year was more passing. So the offense might get a little bit worse. New quarterback, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold last year was great. Will he deal with Seahawks? Who knows? Not too sure. But if Sam Darnold can be at least somewhat similar to last year, and the offense isn't just like a pure run first, like Ravens type offense, JSN still has tons of upside. He still is the wide receiver 1 over Cooper Kupp, in my opinion. So yeah, those are the top 25 players as it stands March 27th for next year's fantasy football. Appreciate you boys watching. If you enjoyed, hit the subscribe again. This is my first video. Starting a new channel. You might have seen us on TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. But starting a YouTube channel, talking fantasy football again. It's been too long since I've done that. So again, appreciate you boys for watching. Subscribe, hit the like, and yeah, we'll see you boys very soon with another video.